Appreciation from my side, and let me share the screen. Right. So whenever you install any software, not only SQL Server, a folder will be created in the C program files with the name of that software. Even though if you install an antivirus software, Avesta, if you install, a folder will be created for Avesta in the C program files. In the same way, whenever you install any software, a new folder will be created with the name of, okay, that software name in that particular C program files. So if you see here, Microsoft SQL Server will be created once you install SQL Server. So if you go inside Microsoft SQL Server, okay, up to this path, we are going to call it as a instance based directory. Okay, instance based directory. Up to this path, C program files, Microsoft SQL Server. Up to this path, we are going to call it as an instance based directory. If you go inside, you can see number of folders. Okay, if you can see here 110, 100, 90, 80. So as I install SQL Server 2012, I can see 110 folder. And of course, if you install SQL Server 2012 also, the below versions folders will come, 100, 90 and 80 folders will come. And again, one more folder will be created with the name of, okay, MSSQL 11.MSSQL server. Now can anyone tell me how to identify the version of the SQL server without opening my management studio?
This 80, 90, 100, 110.
Okay,
Here you can find,
here only we can find.
yeah, but this is also one.
Buildable.
Do we have any other way? Any other way we can find? So without opening the management studio, do we have any other way?
MS SQL 11 is showing, sir.
Very
11.
good. Very good. Okay. So it is showing MS SQL 11. 11 means what? Which version?
12 version. 12.
Okay, SQL Server 2012.
12 version.
Yeah. So in this way, okay, 1 minute. In this way, we can easily identify. Okay, just 1 minute. Right. In this way, we can easily identify without opening the management studio. Okay. So these folders we are going to call. If you go inside any of the number folders, we are going to call these folders as, okay, instance binaries. Instance binaries. Okay, this is the instance binaries. And if you go inside this particular, okay, this folder mssql 11.mssql server, now tell me, I have installed SQL Server 2014 with the name of sales. My instance name is sales and the instance version is SQL Server 2014. Now tell me what folder will create. Like this one folder will create, what will be the name of the folder?
12 dot.
MS SQL 12 dot
Hmm.
sales.
Sales instance, that's it. Okay, you have to mention, okay, 11 means your SQL Server 2012 and 12 means your SQL Server 2014. So MS SQL 12 dot and the instance name here you can see, as I have installed default instance, you can see MS SQL server here. Okay, but if you see here, okay, automatically if you install any named instance and all, you can see a folder with named instance. If you see here in my local machine, you can see, you will get a better idea. See program files, Microsoft SQL Server. Okay, if you see here, one is default instance and one is my named instance. The named instance name is raw2k12 and it belongs to SQL Server 2012, as you can see 11 dot here. And one more instance is default instance MS SQL Server and it belongs to which version?
2008 R2.
2008 R2. So like this you can easily identify. So this path is called, if you go inside this folder, this path is called instance root directory. Okay, instance root directory, instance root directory. Okay, so like this is path, this is base directory. Inside this base directory, you will have binaries and root directory. If you go numbering folder and all, that will be binaries. And if you go inside that particular instance name and all, it will be called as a instance root directory. So inside your root directory, you will have, okay, okay, so if you go inside this particular root directory, you can see backup folder. If you are going to take any backups, automatically the backups will go to this folder. And bin folder, there are some supported DLL files, RLL files will be there here in the bin folder. And the data folder, you will have your data files and log files. The physical location will be here, okay? Data files and log files. The physical location of your files. So for example, yesterday we have created employee database and we have created sales database. If you see here, sales database MDF file and sales database log file and employee database MDF file and your master file, okay, master data file and your employee database log file. Okay, if you see here, I told you, right, database is a collection of data file and log file. So definitely you should have, okay, surely you should have two files. One is data file, second one is log file. So these are the physical location of those files. These are the physical location. MS SQL data folder, you can see the physical files here. MS SQL, say for example, if I want to delete this file, can I delete it? Employee data file, I want to delete it. Okay, can I delete it? What it is
No.
saying? No. Why? Why?
Service
Because yes, your
services
SQL
are
services
on.
are up and running first thing, and your employee database is online. If your employee database is in online, say for example, you have one notepad, okay? You have one notepad. Say for example, here you can see lot of notepads, okay? Something like that, okay? So this is one document. Now I just open this document. Now I want to delete this document. Can I delete it? If I open the document, if I trying to delete the same document, can I delete it?
No, we
It will
can't
throw
delete.
error like the file is in use, right? In the same way, if the database is connected in the SQL Server Management Studio, if the database is online in the SQL Server Management Studio, you cannot delete any files that belongs to employee database. If you want to delete it, make sure the database is offline, then you can delete it. But again, don't delete. Once you delete the data files and log files, that's it. The database will not comes online. So that will be a problem. In case if there is any task like that, you have to do it, but usually don't delete any files. Remember one thing, on the in the organization you cannot to do two things. One is never shut down any server. Once your work is completed, log off from the server. Never shut down any server. In case in some other instances, in some scenarios, you have to reboot it whenever you are doing patching, whenever you are doing upgrading. In such cases, we are going to reboot the server, but we will never shut down any server. Windows people are going to do those kind of activities, but we will never shut down any server. Once your work is completed, just log off from the server. How to log off? You can simply click on the Windows button and click on your username. Okay, you can see sign out or log off. Anything will be there, just log off. Or there is a command also, Windows R log off. Type Windows R and log off. Once your work is completed, just sign out or log off from the server. Don't shut down, don't restart the server. In some scenarios, I told you, right, while patching and all, you have to restart it, but you will never get a chance to shut down any server. Okay, that is one thing. And don't delete any files. Don't delete any files. Again, that is depends upon the condition. In some scenarios, we have to delete the backup files. If the drive and all is full, you have to delete the backup files. That's it. Don't delete this kind of data files, log files and all. You have to be very careful. Okay, you have to be very careful. So don't delete any of the files and don't shut down your SQL server. Okay, not only SQL server, and your Windows server also, don't shut down your Windows server, right? Right. Now we'll discuss about the service account. Okay. So while installation, we have installed SQL Server with the default service account, right? Now I'll try to change the service account. So if I want to change the service account, first of all, I have to create the service account, right? So how to create an account? Service account means, again, don't think like that is a different kind of thing. That is one user. Service account means that is simply one user. You can make any user as a service account. What are the conditions for that? First, create the user in the Windows level. As of now, it will be in the Windows level. Okay. And one more thing, let me go to this instance binaries. I have to discuss one thing. If you go to instance binaries, okay, 110 folder, the current instance binaries, MS SQL Server, right? Go back, go to instance binaries. In that you can see one folder called setup bootstrap folder. Go here. In that you can see, okay, bin and folder, just bin folder, log folder are there. Okay, just go to your SQL Server 2012. Okay, this is the supported files and log folder. Okay, yes, go to your log folder and the setup bootstrap folder. There you can see summary.txt file. This is very useful file. Sometimes in the interviews they will ask how to identify whether your instance is successfully installed or not, or how to identify whether your instance is failed to install, or which component is failed to install, how to identify. Okay, you can see here, right? So this is the summary file that belongs to last installation. What I did is, yesterday I tried to install one server. I just tried to, okay, I just try to show that Windows authentication screen. Okay, and I just cancelled that installation in the middle of the installation. I just cancelled. So every time once you open a setup file, automatically it will create a summary.txt file. If you cancel in the middle of the installation, it will simply register as user cancelled the installation. Okay, or else if any issues are there while installing, even though it will show you, okay, what and all components having issues while installing, you can show here. Okay, you can see here, sorry, you can see here what and all components are failed to install. Easily you can see here. Okay, 1 minute. Right, easily you can see if it is successful. But earlier we have installed one more instance, right? So what you have to do, go to that numbering folder, naming conventions. Here you can see naming convention 2021 0116. 2021 0116 means yesterday's folders. So go to the previous class. Okay, they last week we have installed SQL Server, right? 2021 0110. Okay, and you can see 84102 means this is time. 84102 means this is time. Okay, in this way you can see. And if you go to this folder again, you can see one more summary file. Okay, there, go to the summary file and you can check. Okay, summary. Okay, you can see here. Okay, this is the summary file. So you can easily identify whether your SQL Server instance is, okay, successfully installed or not, whether your SQL Server instance is successfully installed or not. Okay, so if you see here final result is passed, okay, that means your SQL Server or patching. See, summary file will create in these scenarios. When and all summary file will create whenever you install a SQL Server, summary.txt will create. Okay, whenever you patch it, summary.txt will create. Whenever you upgrade the SQL Server, summary.txt will create. Whenever you uninstall the SQL Server, summary.txt will create. So how to confirm your instance is successfully installed or not? You can check in the summary.txt file. If it is showing passed and exit code is 0, then that means your installation is successful, your patching is successful, your upgradation is successful, your uninstallation is successful. So in that way you can easily identify, okay, by using the summary.txt file. So people will ask you how to check whether your installation is successful or not, whether your patching is successful or not, whether your upgradation is successful or not, whether your uninstallation is successful or not. The answer is, you can check in the summary.txt file. That file will be there in the setup bootstrap folder of instance binaries. There you can see setup bootstrap folder. There it will create date and timestamp folders. If you go inside date and timestamp folders, you can see summary file. There you can easily identify, okay, what is the reason, if the user is cancelled, or else the installation is failed, or else any components are failed to install. Everything you can see in the summary.txt file. If you see any exit code other than 0, that means the installation is failed. If you see any exit code other than 0, okay, that means the installation is failed. If you go back, you can see in the common summary file, right? So the exit code is showing some negative value, right? That means either user cancelled or installation is failed. If exit code is 0, then only the installation is succeeded. Clear? Is it clear? Any issues, any doubts?
No doubts.
Okay.
Yes.
Again they will ask you deep, they will do the deep dive. Okay, after summary file, what and all things you are going to check whether the instance is successfully installed or not. After summary.txt file, you have one more file called detailed file. Okay, if you see here, okay, you can see a detailed file. Yes, this one. Okay, detailed file. So this is also will help you to check whether your instance is successfully installed or not, whether your instance is successfully patched or not. Here also you can see, so you can ask, see how much big file it is. Okay, you can ask how to check it, where to check it and all. Then there is a, like, everything. Okay, control F, just check with a common errors, failed, okay, or else error, just search failed, error. So you can find, right, like this, just check, search with a common terminologies. Then if you find anything, easily you can identify. Go 10 lines up and 10 lines down to check the exact reason why it was failed. But again, you don't find the exact reason, at least you will find some hints why it was failed to install, why it was failed to patch, why it was failed to upgrade. You can find some hints. In such way you can troubleshoot the installation errors and all. So if anyone asked you how to troubleshoot if the instance is failed, how you are going to troubleshoot if the instance is failed, so what is your answer? First I'll check the summary.txt file. Then they will ask you, don't reveal every time at a time, every time. Because I mean, like, don't reveal all the things at a time. Just tell them, first I'll check summary.txt file. Then they will ask you, where will be the summary.txt file? Then tell them it will be there in the instance binaries, setup bootstrap folder, date and timestamp. Okay, then tell them after summary file, you don't find anything in the summary file, where you are going to check it? Tell them detailed file. Okay, then they will ask you, where will be the detailed file? So you have to increase the questions, even though you know the answer. Don't reveal in a single shot. Okay, let them ask again, so that the questions will increase, so interview also will be comfortable. Okay, clear? Any issues, any doubts? Fine. So, right, now we'll discuss about the service account and we'll close the session for today. Okay, right. So service account, right? So what and all precautions you have to take, prerequisites, what and all prerequisites for service account? Service account means first you have to create one user account in the Windows machine as of now, but in the organization they will create in the active directory. We can call it as a AD directory. Okay, they are going to call it as a active directory. Usually any user account will be created in the active directory only in the organization. As of now we don't have active directory set up, right? We will also create active directory during our course, but now we are going to create the user in the Windows level, and make sure that user account, okay, is sysadmin. Okay, make sure that user account is administrator in the local. Okay, local administrator, local admin, right? Fine. Then change the service account from services.msc screen. Okay, in this way, these are the 3 steps to change the service account. But again, you cannot do it whenever you want. Once you change the service account, you have to restart the SQL server. Restarting SQL server means business down. Okay, so you have to take proper approvals for doing this activity. Whenever you want, don't change the service account. Okay, right? So now what I'll do, I'll try to create a user account. How to create a user account? Simply go to your Windows machine, open run, okay, and type, right? So what you have to do is lusrmgr.msc. lusr means, L means local, usr means user, mgr means manager. Local user manager.msc. Click OK. Okay. Just if you click OK, there you can see users and groups. Go to users. Okay, not groups. Go to users. Okay, there you can see you have to create one user. As of now, only administrator user is there. Now let me create a user. Right click on this white space, new user. I'm going to create a service account like this. Okay, SQL. Okay, if it is production and all, usually the notations will be like this, PRD. Okay, SVC, like this. The service accounts will be like this usually, but again it depends upon the organization to organization. SQL prod SVC means this service account belongs to a production server, and this is a service account. and this belongs to SQL. Okay, don't give full name, description not required. Give the strong password. Again, don't give different passwords. Choose a one strong password, then just follow the same password in all other instances. Uncheck the first thing, user must change the password. This password never expires. If the password expires, usually the password will expire for every 45 days in the organization. Even your laptop password also will expire for every 40 day 45 days, 60 days, and all. It depends upon the Windows policy. Okay, but service account password could not expire. If it was expired and all, your services will be down. And again, this activity will be done by the Windows people in the organization. You don't have permission to create the users. Okay, right? But our practice, for our course, we are the Windows admins, we are the SQL admins, right? So we have to create the accounts and all, right? User cannot change password, password never expires. Create it. Once you just create it, you can see here SQL prod SVC came. Okay, now what I have to do, I have to make this as a local admin. How to make this as a local admin? Go to groups, go to administrators group. If you add anyone in this administrator group, automatically he will be a local admin. So make sure you have selected the computer name, and of course this is and all fine. Just type SQL underscore, what is the account name? PRD underscore SVC, right? Type the account name, check names, then you will get like this computer name slash your account name. Click OK, click apply, click OK. Automatically this account will be converted into local admin. Now I have to change this as a service account. Go to your services.msc. This is my main service, right? You have to change the service accounts to the database engine, and you have to change the service account to the agent also. Go to the database main service, go to the properties of this service. Okay, go to the log on tab. Here you can see this account, right? Go to browse. Okay, type the same account SQL underscore PRD underscore SVC. Just check names. Okay, click OK. If account is there, you will get like this. Now you can see, okay, why I can see star here, dot here. Why I can see dot here. What is the meaning of dot? What is the meaning of dot? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of dot? Right? So dot means your computer name. Okay? Dot means your computer name. Right? Fine. So here usually account name will be computer name slash account name, right? So you can represent your computer name with dot. I guess you can see very small dot is there. I don't know whether you can see or not. Very small dot is there, dot backslash your service account, and change the password. The password which you gave at the time of this account creation, you gave one password, right? Give the password 123 123. Okay, now apply it. Now it is asking us service account granted as a service account. The account, okay, has been granted the logon as a service account service, right? Just click OK. This will take effect until you restart the SQL server. Click OK again. Now just restart the SQL server, select the service and restart it. In this way you can change it. Okay, now see here, it was changed. Earlier it is showing MS SQL server, right? Now if you see here dot backslash SQL prod SVC. Again, do the same thing for agent also. Go to the properties of this agent, go to the logon tab, go to the browse, give the service account, SQL underscore, PRD underscore, SVC, nothing is there. Okay, if you don't find account, usually you will get error. So what kind of error you will get, I'll show you. I'm just giving wrong name, SQL PRD. Okay, like this I'm giving. Check names, you will get error like this. If you don't have the username, you will get error like this. Okay, let me give you the complete name again, SQL underscore PRD. Sometimes you can give, okay, a small part of the name and you can just go for a check names. If it is not getting, give the complete name, okay, and just go with the check names, then automatically you will get this. Okay, just change the password. I'm giving the password 123. Don't give the new password, give the password that you gave while creating this account. Okay, apply and click OK and OK. Right, now restart it, then automatically you can see here service account also changed. So in this way you can change the service account of a SQL server. Any issues, any doubts?
No doubts.
Okay, so in such case, okay, That's it for today. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me, or else we'll connect in the next Saturday session. Okay, right? So I'm going to give one assignment for you. Yesterday I forget to give the assignment. So what are the assignments? Create a database with, okay, name as uh, Amazon. Okay, create a database with name Amazon. Right. In this database, okay, in the Amazon database, create two tables. Two tables. Okay, what are the names of those tables? Sales. Second one is customers. Customers. Okay, in the sales table, create three columns: sale ID, okay, comma, product, comma, cost, comma, delivery address or delivery pin code. Right. And customers, just create a table with customer ID, CID, comma, customer name, comma, payment options like card or cash, COD, okay, payment options, comma, okay, product, what kind of product he just purchased, okay, product. Right. So just create two tables, okay, sales and customers in your Amazon database. Okay. So this is the assignment for today. And one more assignment I'll give you. Okay. Create a service account with SQL SVC ACC. Create a service account with a name like this. Create a service account with a name like this and change the service account of your instance. Okay. So these are the two assignments that I'm giving for the next session. Is it clear? Fine. Any issues, any doubts? Right. One more small topic. Okay. So yesterday we have connected to the default instance, right? In how many ways we can connect to the default instance? Can anyone tell me? In how many ways we can connect to the default instance or named instance? Anything is fine. In how many ways we can connect to the, just tell me one way. Money, tell me one way.
Services like
Just how to connect to the default instance in the management studio. Karthik,
I did not get
how to connect to the default instance in the management studio? What name you will give? What name you will give while connecting to the SQL server in the management studio for default instance?
Windows authentication.
That is
database.
authentication type. What name you will, what is the server name you will give while connecting to the default instance?
Computer name, sir.
Computer name. Very good. Computer name. Do we have any other ways to connect to the default instance?
Give IP address, I think.
Okay. Thanks for trying. Any other ways? Just now we discussed one point. How can we represent a computer name?
Service.
Dot, right? So replace your dot here. I am not giving anything. Just I am replacing computer name with the dot. Connect. You can connect. So whenever you see any instance with the dot, don't wonder. Okay. You can connect to the default instance with the dot also. And again, we have one more way. What is the other way? Local host or local. Just type like this. You have to put brackets. Okay, just type local. In this way also you can connect to the default instance, and you can use local host also. Local host also to connect to the default instance. Local host. Okay, or else let me remove this. Okay, brackets. Local host. Okay, so these are all multiple ways we can connect to the, okay, default instance and all. Okay, do you think I have 4 instances in my machine? If you see here, this is computer name, this is dot, and this is local, and this is local host. Means you can see 4 instances are there. Do we have 4 instances in our machine? Do we have 4 instances in our machine? How many instances are there?
One, only
One
one
instance
is
only. We have connected in multiple ways, right? You will have your pet name. You will have your official name. You will have your, okay, different names and all, right? Friends are going to call you with a different name. In your home, they are going to call you with a different name, and parents and all going to call with you different name. In all other scenarios, you are the only one person, but everyone is calling in a different way, right? So in the same way, we have only one default instance, but we have connected in different ways by just giving different names. That's it. Okay, so we have 3 4 ways also. Just one more assignment is, other than these 4 ways, do we have any other ways to connect to the default instance other than this name, computer name, and your dot and local host? Do we have any other ways to connect to the default instance? Did you get my question? Karthik, Mani, Saujanya, Madhavi, Anthony, Rajesh, Anil, Ridesh?
No, sir.
No? So we have connected to the default instance using all these 4 names, right? Other than these 4 names, do we have any other ways to connect to the default instance? Any other names to connect to the default instance?
service account.
Try it. Try it. Okay, try for this week and let me know the answer for the next week. Okay, just search it, Google it, and let me
Okay.
know the answer for the next week. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it for today. Okay, I'm just closing the session. If you have any issues, any suggestions, okay, just let me know. Classes are going too fast, too slow. I know it will be difficult if you don't practice it, but it will be very easy if you practice it.
So second one you had given no, create the service account.
Mm-hmm.
So can you please repeat again that one? I had disconnected.
Okay, fine. Okay, what I'll do, I'll share that YouTube link. Okay, so just go through it, how to create the service account and all, then you will get an idea. Okay.
Oh, no, you had given assignment. No, just we have to create
See, if
this.
I show you that assignment now, then what is the use of the assignment? Okay, Anil.
I'm asked to show what you asked me to do this one. Actually, I had disconnected the internet and again
Okay,
so that
nothing. See, you just gone through, right, the steps how to create a service account.
yes.
How to create, you know, right, how to create a service account. What we have to do for that? Usually, what is the first step?
Yeah, for first of all, we have to go to that service.
We have to create a user. Okay, in the
Uh,
LUS or mgr.msc, first we have to create a user with this name, then
yes, sir.
add this name, add this account in the local admin group. That is second step. Then go to services.msc, then change each service account. That's it. Clear, right?
Yes, that I understood. But
Okay,
assignment, what you have done for us, that I'm asking to you.
just
Just we have
create a service account with this name. Create a service account with this name and change the service account. Okay, this is the assignment I am giving. Apart from this first assignment, just create a service account with this name. I just created with a different name, SQL prod svc, but I am asking you to create with a different name, SQL svc acc. Create a service
okay,
account with this name and change the service account.
okay.
Got it?
That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Okay, so next week I'll ask you. Okay, so please try to create it. Okay, there is no punishments if you don't create, but again, just try to be responsible. Okay, fine. That's it for today, guys. If you have any issues, just ping me in the WhatsApp. Okay, thank you all. Bye.